So without any further ado, I want you guys to put your hands together for a story that's going to blow you away. Stay on the edge of your seats because he's never, ever shared this, and now he's opening it up to his family. Mr. Joel Peterson.
Hey, what's up? What's up, man? Just love it. Yeah, man. Everyone, come on. Dance, let's go. Little island. All right. Wow, it's bright up here. Should I keep these on? That kind of makes it easier. I can see you now. Don't worry, Yaman. No, I have a little fun with that. One of my dreams was to go down to Jamaica. When I was in high school, I thought I was cool and listened to Bob Marley. And you know, last year on the Marketers Cruise, we got a chance to hang out in Jamaica. And it was just a fun thing. I bought that hat. And I always said, I'm going to go on stage someday wearing that hat just because I love having fun. You know, anyone here love having fun? When I wear that and I listen to that kind of music, it just reminds me of how fun life can be and how happy you can be, especially when you work hard to get your dreams. You know, yesterday, if you saw the video, you've already heard my story, so I'm not going to go ahead and repeat that story again. But one thing about me is I like to refer to myself as your escape the rat race guide. That's kind of my story of escaping the rat race. And by the way, as you're building your story and you're building your audience, come up with the tagline for yourself. What's special? What are you going to bring to the world? What are you going to help out? So come up with a tagline. It's one thing I recommend to you. I want to kind of have some fun here. I've wanted to ask this question, so I'm going to ask 3 questions right now to the whole audience because I'm really curious about something. I think I already know the answer, but if you'll participate with me, that would be great because I want to prove a point here. So I want you to think back about how you were introduced to pure leverage, your first exposure to pure leverage. So think about it right now. How did you first hear about it, and who did you first hear about it? So this is what I want you to do. First question. If you were happily along your merry way and one day you got an email from a stranger, some email just popped up in your box telling you about, and then that's how you found about pure leverage, and you joined, and now you're sitting here in this room, will you stand up? Stand up if a stranger, you didn't know who the heck sent you that email. Okay, so we have a few of you in here. So you didn't know who they were. Okay, sit down. Thank you. All right, now I want you to stand up if you were already on somebody's email list, someone that you subscribed to, that you followed, that you respected, that you already knew. Maybe you didn't know them personally, but you got an email from them and they introduced you to pure leverage. Will you guys stand up? Stand up. Okay, that's a fair number. Good. Okay, sit down. The third question is, who was introduced to pure leverage by someone that you personally know? Maybe they emailed you directly, or they called you, or they just told you about it. Will you stand up? Stand up. Okay, pretty interesting, right? Okay, sit down. What does that tell us? What does that tell us? This is a business, whether you're building this business completely online, whether you're building this business old school, whether there are many ways to build this business. Usually what types of businesses grow faster? Usually people will join a business or an opportunity or purchase a product because someone they know and trust and like recommends it to them. I really wanted to set that point aside because that is how you grow huge companies. The internet is awesome, and the internet gives us tools to be able to build relationships, but that's the key. I promise you, you're going to have more success in your business if you strive to build relationships online, using online to build relationships, and going out to people you know and building those relationships there and introducing pure leverage to them. You will have more success than if you're just blindly approaching strangers through email. I'm just flat out right now. If you're looking to build an organization that will grow and flourish, you want to focus on building those relationships. And we have the tools to do it, right? You can build an autoresponder. I thought that was so cool when we all stood up and we talked about, how to build a list and how many people had on your autoresponder. And it's kind of funny, but some of you saw me standing up. I don't know if I was the last one standing up that had over 50,000, but here's the funny thing. I've been doing internet marketing for 10 years now. I did not have a list the first 5 years, believe it or not. In fact, I didn't even know what I was doing when I got started in internet marketing. This is funny. I actually had built a list and I didn't know it. I had a list of 40,000 people that I had built because I was selling this one product and we had all these subscribers and I had this list of 40,000 and I never emailed to it, not even one time. That's how I didn't understand even internet marketing even when we got this going. So I just wanted to kind of prove a point that building a list is really powerful, but not just building a list, but building your relationships with others, because people will look at this business. I'll give you another example. By the way, I'm so excited to see all the people that are here. The Holtz that were just up here, congratulations. It's so exciting to see those stories and people that make the sacrifices. Here's an example. Last week I was at my brother's wedding, and my wife and I got to after the wedding, they had a lunch, and we got there a little late, and it was this small little bar area, and we were looking for a place to sit, and the only place to sit was at this table with complete strangers. And at first my wife's like, oh, man, she doesn't like sitting with strangers, but I love sitting with strangers because I love to talk to people and get to know them and stuff. So I sit down at this table, and I start, just common me, I just start asking people about themselves. Hey, what do you do? Tell me about yourself and stuff. And this one guy named Vaughn, who's sitting right there, he started talking, and hey, what do you do, Vaughn? And he said, well, I don't have a job right now, but I'm looking at the internet. And I think there's some things on the internet that I could do to make some money. And inside I'm thinking to myself, you sat at the right table, buddy. And then as we started talking, I said, no, where are you from, Vaughn? And he said, I'm from Las Vegas. So last night, Vaughn's here, and he comes up to me afterwards, and he said, Joel, I'm so excited to do this. I did this because of your recommendation. And by the way, I bought the master's course, and I said, Vaughn, did you actually sign up for Pure Leverage yet? No. Oh, I said, okay, well, go, let's sign you up for Pure Leverage, and we'll make sure that everything's matched up. So stand up, Vaughn. I'm going to embarrass you there. Say hi. So that goes to the point, you never know who's going to be interested in this business. The truth is, guys, 85% of everyone's walking around this casino, 85% of the people you sit down at a table with, they all want two things. They want more time, they want more money. They just don't have a big sign on their forehead that says that. But you know what? With the proper invitation, that's how you build big businesses. So I'm going to, one of the things that I love to do is, I really started out with this with big dreams. My big why was my family, and I love to travel. And that's one of the things that internet marketing, network marketing has brought me over the years, is we've been able to travel and do fun things. These are some of the things. I caught you can see that 70-pound salmon down in Alaska. That's on the back of my phone. You probably can't see this, but on the back of my phone I have a picture of a 70-pound salmon. And it has a little caption here that says, another day at the office. I should have put that on one of the slides, but you can see the picture up there. And I get a lot of conversations with, what is that, another day at the office? So it always strikes up conversations. Can anyone guess that middle picture, where that middle picture was taken? Famous movie scene, Sound of Music. That's the place where the Sound of Music was filmed. We snuck out there, got the picture. Dad always makes everyone do a jumping picture. We spent a month in Europe last summer, but we've traveled to India, Hawaii, all kinds of things. And I would recommend to you, as you're building your character, as like Russell talked about, start doing fun things, taking pictures of yourself doing fun things while you're out here in Vegas, and just have fun. This business should be fun. Anyone having fun? You need to have fun, okay? So do fun things. All right. What is freedom to you? You need to ask yourself, what is freedom? Because freedom is different for everybody. Some people, freedom is spending time with your family. Sometimes freedom is quitting that job. Believe it or not, some people actually love their jobs and they enjoy working at their jobs and they provide great services and they love the people that they work with. Not everyone wants to quit their job. Some people just want to make a little extra income. Some people just want to have fun. Some people just want to associate with other positive people. So your freedom is different for every person. For me, anyone want to guess what that picture is of? That is my last job. A good friend of mine sent this picture to me a couple years ago and said, hey, I was in your old parking lot. And for me, this was my freedom. To be able to quit that 9-to-5 job that I used to work 6 to 3, actually 6 to 3. And you know that movie Office Space? That was completely me. I remember sitting there, for me, I would sit there and stare at the clock. I would sit in my little cubicle, and time would go by slow. Maybe that was the only good thing about having a job back then, because it seemed like time would go slow, and so maybe I felt like I was living longer, but not having fun. I'll tell you what, since internet marketing, since quitting my job 9 years ago, time is going by fast. It's like, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because I was looking at the clock every 5 minutes, wondering, wait until 3 o'clock so I could go home. So for me, that was my freedom, to be able to quit that job and then go do things that I wanted to do in life and spend time with my family and help others achieve those goals. But let's talk about what stops people from achieving that freedom? What stops people from having success? What stops people? I've been doing this long enough, internet marketing, network marketing, to know, statistically wise, some of you sitting here in this room will not be here at the next event or will not be in Pure Leverage. Now, I hope every single one of you will be in here, 100% of you. But statistically wise, I know that some of you won't. Some of you won't go 100%. Some of you will quit. Some of you will get discouraged about something. Some people will let things get in the way of their dreams. So I want to talk about that today, and how we can overcome that, and how every one of you, 100% of you, can be successful at this, because you can be successful at this. I'm going to share a couple stories with you today about that. We all start with dreams. Think about when you're a kid. What do you want to be when you grow up? What do they say? I want to be an astronaut. I want to be a writer. I want to be a singer. I want to be famous. I want to do this. I want to do that. You ever talk to kids and hear that? How many... if you ask a 16-year-old boy that just gets his driver's license, what kind of car would you like? Do you hear him saying, I want a Honda Accord. I want a Geo Metro. No, what are they saying? I want a Camaro, I want a Lamborghini, I want a Ferrari. Last night, a good friend of mine showed up here. He's not in Pure Leverage. He's an internet marketer. We're very successful internet marketer. His name's Mike. He lives here locally. And he showed up last night, and last night we went out and we drove in his Tesla. You guys know what a Tesla is? An electric car. And I'm pretty bold. We're driving around in this thing. It's all electric. I thought I was in the future, man. The whole dash on the front was all digital. Everything was digital. And we're driving this thing, and I said, Mike, how much does this car cost? He said, $100,000. And to me, that's the kind of, for him, the dream was to have a nice, awesome car. And I'm telling you what, that thing, woo, it was flooring. I mean, it was just awesome. And that's his dream, to do that. And that's what the internet marketing lifestyle has brought to him, and it's fun. But again, something happens, and I don't know what it is. It's usually after high school, maybe into the college years, where something starts to get in the way of those dreams. What is it? Yeah, we're gonna talk about that. Maybe, life, it's like you have these influences. So we all start out with these dreams, and we're gonna talk about what happened. What happened to those dreams? So the way I'd like to relate this today is we all start out with our dreams, and then we let things get in the way. And I like to call them chains, So, for example, your environment. Maybe you were raised in a home where it wasn't so nice. Maybe you're raised in a home with negativity. Maybe you're raised in a home where you were told that you were not special, or that, the only way to be successful in life is to go get a job and work 9 to 5, get a retirement. Maybe you had that. Maybe you had a good environment. Everyone's different, but let's just say you had kind of a bad environment. And so, we start wearing these chains. So we're told we're not good. We're told that we're not special and that we need to go sit in a cubicle or whatever, hope for a 3% raise a year. And then we start wearing that chain. That little chain just kind of starts to weigh a little bit on our dreams a little bit. I still got the dreams, but, got the little chain there. So your environment is many times something that starts to chain you down. Number 2 is money. You ever realize that, like, when you're in high school and stuff, you don't, like, your thought about money is like, I just got to have enough money to put gas in the car, go out on the date with the chicks. Nah, I'm good. Maybe, back in the day, my buddy here, we used to, every day after high school, we'd go to the tape store, go look at tape, so I have enough money to buy tapes, CDs. Now I just download your MP3s. What do kids do now? It's like, just stand around, downloading music on their iPod. I don't know. They miss out on a lot of fun. But money, you start to worry about money because you don't usually have any. Parents kick you out of the house, you're in college, you're like, man, I got to go get out on my own. I got to make some money. So then all of a sudden you're like, okay, let's go to college. That's right, everyone tells you to go to college. Let's go to college. So you're worried about money. All of a sudden you got to pay, maybe you buy a car and you get a rent, and all of a sudden you have bills and something maybe you probably never had before. So now all of a sudden, man, we've got another chain. And, it's weighing down on our dreams a little bit now. Now we're like, well, okay. Well, I wanted that Ferrari, but, man, all I can afford is this, the $300 cheapest car I can find at the junkyard. That's okay. But then we kind of end up just settling for things, what we can afford, right? We get this mentality. It's like, I seem to find that no matter how much I made at my job, I was always about $500 short of what I really needed every month. Anyone ever felt that before? It's like, man, there's just not quite enough. And then I get a new job and get a raise. It's like, I went from $42,000 to $52,000. I'm like, woohoo, I made it. And then you go to pay the bills and you're done. And it's like, $200 in my account before the next paycheck. And so money is a huge chain that we wear. And we'll talk a little bit more about money here in a second. Okay, so what's the third one? The next chain kind of goes with money, and that is debt. Along when you start making money, and all of a sudden you're like, man, I got a little money. Now here's the problem, right? You had that dream, you wanted that Ferrari, so then you go out and you buy that nice car. But you know what? You couldn't really afford that nice car. So you start getting into debt. Anyone ever been into debt? Okay. I got into a lot of debt. Before I got into internet marketing, I found myself, I'd already had a bankruptcy. I had a karate studio. I'm actually a second-degree black belt in Shotokan karate. Any martial arts experts in here? And I actually have a studio. I had 100 students. And the problem I found was that half my students were taken for free. And I found you can't make a lot of money teaching free. And pretty soon, I had a bankruptcy because of that business. And to even survive after that, we lived on credit cards. And then again, I found myself $50,000 in credit card debt. I'd already had a bankruptcy. I was in a pickle. I couldn't, I was stuck at $50,000. So debt really got me. That debt is a scourge on our country right now, and on the world right now. So debt's another thing. It adds that weight. This is getting kind of heavy right here. And what does that do? That affects me personally. I'm now, it's like I'm always worried about it. Do you think that's probably one of the most concerns that most people have walking around? You walk around these casinos, especially here, right? Because people are like in debt already. And then they're blowing all their money. They're in debt more. So it's just, they're just constantly adding chains and chains. Next one is time. Who here has ever heard someone say, I'd like to do that, I just don't have the time. Man, I'd like to do that business, but man, I don't have the time. Is that a pretty common thing you guys hear? A lot of times I find people They say I don't have the time or I'm too busy. But what they're really saying is I'm busy staying broke, okay? They think they're so busy. Maybe they're busy with their job. I'm too busy. I don't have time to do this. But maybe they're really just watching TV all the time. I mean, you've got to find the time, right, if you want to do something. So time is a huge thing. So not having enough time really weighs on you. This is getting heavy. Let's see if I can keep this on the whole time. Number 5 is probably one of the biggest ones. So I'll get the extra chain here. Self-doubt. Now you start thinking to yourself, I'm in debt. I'm not making much money. My childhood was bad. I just don't have the time. I could never be successful in a business. Other people could be successful. The guys on stage would be successful. I can't be successful. I don't have a list. You have to have a list to be successful. You have to have money to make money. You have to be popular. You have to look good. I don't look good. I could never do that. I'm scared of talking on stage. I could never do that. Anyone ever have doubts about themselves? Okay, you can raise your hand if you want, because we all do. That's a huge chain. And that's why a lot of people will fail, because they have self-doubts. And so here we are. We've got the chains. And now what happens is we're weighed down in life. So when our friend calls us up and says, hey, bud, let's go fishing. Oh yeah, when do you want to go? Well, let's go Wednesday. I have to work. Oh, I don't have the gas money. I can't go. Can we go on Saturday? That's my only time off. I don't have time. I could go Saturday when everyone else goes. You know the people that, we have some neighbors. We have great neighbors. But there's one couple that every time we talk to, within 60 seconds of talking, the conversation goes like this. Oh, we would love to go do this, but we could never afford it. We couldn't do that. That costs too much money. This is self-doubt. We're doubting ourselves. We're questioning ourselves. That's a problem. That's a huge chain. What happens is people get into what's called, if you heard this before, Randy Gage is big, lives of quiet desperation. We're just existing. We wake up to go to the job, hoping for that 3% raise every year, hoping we don't get laid off. Maybe we're not having miserable time in life, but we're not having the best time. We're accepting the 10 days of vacation. If I work 5 more years, guess what? I get 5 more days of vacation a year. But many people live in those quiet lives of desperation, coming home, sitting on the couch, watching TV till middle of the night, turning it off, waking up, and doing the same thing all over again. Lives of quiet desperation. It's called the rat race. I was stuck in the rat race for many, many, many years. And I see a lot of people stuck in the rat race. And you know what? A lot of people don't even know they're stuck in the rat race. Anyone stuck in the rat race here, be honest, it's okay. Feel like you're stuck in the rat race. So what I'm going to talk about today is 7 proven principles anyone can follow to escape the rat race. And I'm serious when I say anyone. Anyone can follow to escape the rat race. You ready to learn? You want to learn what to do to escape the rat race? Let's start out with number 1. And you've heard this before. You need to work on your why. Did you know that even just 2 or 3 years ago, I didn't even know what that meant? Your why? If someone had said, what's your why? I would have like, my what? I didn't know. I think I knew actually, but I never knew it like this way. I was really never into personal development at all. Like the last book that I read, like 2 years ago, honestly 2 years ago, the last book I had read was the last Harry Potter book that had come out. I'm not kidding you. Now I am a reader. I am a reader. And one of the things I learned is you really do need to have a burning why. Here's my why. This is my family. My why is my family. I want to be with my family. I want to spend more time with my family. I want to be with my kids. I want to do fun things, and I want to make them happy. And I'm telling you what, since we've been able to live the internet marketing lifestyle, live the network marketing lifestyle, we've been able to go do fun things with our family. We've been able to be there, spend time, go to Europe, take a month-long motorhome trip. I mean, my why was to get to that place. So you have to really do have to have a burning why. And you need to write that down. And there was a time I thought, I don't need to do that. I know what I want. So most people, their why is, I want more money. Okay, that's what a lot of people will say. But you really need to look down deeper and say, what's your why? Why are you doing this? Are you sick and tired of your job? Do you just want some extra income? Maybe you want your husband to work a little less. Quit that second job. Maybe you just want to go help serve others. Maybe you want to go serve a mission. You want to go to Africa. You want to build schools. Everyone's why is different. So you really do need to have a burning why. Number 2 is your beliefs. And this is a big, big, big one. Even here attending these last couple days, I've had a few people that I've talked to who I can tell, you don't believe that it can happen to you. I can usually tell when someone starts talking to me within about the first 30 seconds if they have a belief or not, that they can be successful in this type of a business. And I'm not going to ask for a raise of hands, but I know there's people in this audience right now who are still sitting here thinking, does this really work? Can I really make it? Is this peer leverage deal real? And that's okay if you think that. Everyone has doubts. Now, it's not just believing in a company, it's believing in yourself. Your beliefs that you can accomplish things. Until you can overcome this, you've got to believe that it can happen for you. And how do you do that? You need to hear from other people. You need to talk, you need to experience, you need to hear the testimonies like Mark and Heather were just up here. Okay? I am so excited because I get these emails all the time. And Mark and Heather out here, they don't even have internet access, and they had 2 people sign up as customers or just, resellers. And they're here, they can't even get on the internet because they're from the UK and their phones don't work and stuff. And yeah, awesome, thank you. And we see that every day. Stories all the time. Vaughn, there you go, a good example of people that make it happen. You have to really start believing. You gotta put that negative stuff aside. You gotta be positive. Because people are attracted to positive people. So you need to work on your beliefs. If you say can't a lot, you gotta change that. There's one word you need to change from your language, and that's the word but. Okay, I'm not talking the one you're thinking of. Okay, what I'm talking about is, have you heard the conversations that go, man, I would sure love to be successful at this, but I don't have the time. But I don't have a list. But I don't look good enough. But, so if you're saying that in conversation, stop it now. Just end your conversation. If you start seeing yourself saying but nothing. But it's all good, Maybe start doing that. If you start saying, yeah, but it's all good. Okay. So start saying can. Use positive words in your language. All right. How you treat others. This is so critical. When I started in internet marketing, I'll be honest with you, I didn't treat others with kindness. I didn't treat others as people. I treated others like most internet marketers out there. And I'm not dogging internet marketers. I love internet marketing. But there are certain people in internet marketing where they treat people like this. Anyone ever felt like they were treated like this? Like a dollar sign, not like a real person. When I first started internet marketing, I sat behind a computer screen and sent traffic. People would buy stuff, and I would make money. And that's cool. It worked. And then I started meeting some of the people that we were selling things to. And I'll be honest with you, the first time I started selling a few things, when you're in the biz op world, there's a lot of good stuff, pure leverage, the tools, and there's a lot of scammy stuff. Would you guys agree with me? You ever seen the scammy stuff, okay? And then there's kind of this middle ground, right? So I kind of used to have this thing, it's like, man, I don't care who I sell to. I don't see these people. I don't know them. All I care about is the money comes in, right? And you can build a business that way. You can be the man behind the curtain. You can do that. if you want to build a long-term sustainable business, you've got to stop treating people like dollar signs. You can usually hear it in people's languages. If you're concerned all about upsells, downsells, cross-sells, I mean, those things are important to learn in marketing, but if you just remember that there's a real person behind every one of those transactions, a person just like you, and how would you want to be treated? With respect, right? So if you start thinking of others and respecting others and building teams, that's why I was a pro. That's why the minute I saw Pure Leverage and the vision and the products and everything, I was so attracted to it because I love people. I love seeing success stories. I love people who try. I love hearing the stories of struggle and the stories of what it takes to get here. Gosh, I've got someone here on my team who hitchhiked here. He wanted to get here so bad. Now, he found a ride back, but I asked him in the hallway today, I said, how'd you get here? He said, hey, I hitchhiked. I wanted to get here so bad, I hitchhiked. Now, and to me, that's going to be part of his story. Isn't that going to be awesome? I'm looking forward to seeing him on stage, be able to tell that story. I wanted to get to this event. I had to hitchhike. And he was telling me that in one of the spots he got let off in like this spot where there was no one there. It was 5 o'clock at night. And it was starting to get dark. And there was like 4 cars coming every 40 minutes. And he was getting a little worried. And luckily, someone on the side of the road was there, having trouble with his trailer. He came over, offered to help him, and just asked him, could you give me a ride just to the next couple exits where there's some more cars? And he said, well, where are you going? He said, I'm going to Las Vegas. He said, I live in Las Vegas. Let me give you a ride. So he gave him a ride. Do you think that man treated people like he would want to be treated? Exactly. And now our team member's here, and he's here, and we're looking forward to his story. So treat people like you would want to be treated. Stop treating people like dollar signs. Work with your teams. When you get people signing up, call them. Call them. Encourage them. Help them get started on the right path. Don't do things for them, but treat people like people instead of dollar signs, and you will have a big business. Next thing, principle number 4, taking action. This is huge because so many people get involved in a business or multiple businesses, and they get excited, they come to the seminars, they go to the courses, they may even build their blog, they may post to their blog, but they don't really take action. They're not doing the actionable things that build a business. So when you get started with a business, you want to take action. You want to make sure you're focused on the things that are productive, that are actually going to help you grow your business. There's something funny about this business, and I'm going to explain it to you right now. When you take action and you focus on the things that provide success for you, something happens. When you do action, you have success. And guess what? When you have success, you get excited. Mark and Heather, were you guys excited that I told you you had a couple sign-ups and you didn't even know? I saw your faces in the hall. All right, so what is that going to cause you to do now? You had action, you had success, and now guess what? You got to do more action. And you're going to have more success. And you do more action. And you have more success and more action and more success, more action. You get how it works? When you have more action, you do something every day in your business that is, and I'm going to clarify, actionable items that grow your business. I'm going to talk about that here in a minute. You'll have success in your business. If you focus on activities that don't bring you success in your business, time-wasting things, you won't have success and you'll get discouraged. So more action leads to success, leads to more action, leads to success. You get it how it works, guys? The number one action that will guarantee success. Who wants to guess? Who thinks that they know what the number one action that will guarantee success in this business? Yell it out. Get people to look at the opportunity. Follow up. These are all good. But there's one action you guarantee you could be the worst one at this and you'll still have success. That's invite. Will you take a look at this? Invite people. And there's numerous ways to invite people. We invite people online. We invite people in person. If you focus just on this one thing and you invite people to take a look at a video, look at a presentation, come to a seminar. And by the way, this isn't the last one of these, I hope you guys realize this isn't the last one of these things we're having, right? We're having more. And let me tell you something, you need to bring guests to this, okay? Because what happens is when you bring guests, it's gonna be really hard to walk out of here and not want to get involved, right, Vaughn? Okay? So invitations, get that through your mind. If you're not inviting every day, whether it's on your blog, whether it's in your newsletter, whether it's in person, you won't have as much success. Lynn Huber, we had Lynn, can you stand up? Lynn and Richard, stand up right here. We had, in our conversation in dinner last night, we talked, thank you, you can sit down. In our conversation in dinner last night, we talked about some of the activities that bring success. We talked about blogging, and she made the comment, I was so proud of her, she said, you know, I blog, but I spend most of my time recruiting and inviting and doing the activities that actually grow my business. Get that in your brain, guys. If you just focus on inviting, you could be the worst inviter, but you just do enough of it, and some of it's gonna start working, and you know what? You're gonna get better at it. You're gonna get better at it, and pretty soon you're gonna become a master inviter. That's it, that's the key. Focus on invitations. And again, we can invite people online, you can invite people offline. Focus on inviting. Principle number 5, how to handle failures. Oh my gosh, has anyone ever failed at anything in here? Okay. All right, let's talk about failures, and I'm gonna go through a couple things. You know, a lot of people say, oh, Joel, you're so successful and everything you do touches the gold, and blah, 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 and I just laugh, because you can ask my wife, okay? And so, you know, when I was a kid, I did all kinds of things. Back in the 90s, I started a windshield repair business, and I'd go around door to door repairing, and looking for people with rock chips and repair their chips. And it was a great business in the summertime. In the wintertime, it stunk. And, you know, so I kind of had a failure there. And then I was reading this magazine. In the back of Success magazine, there was this little ad that said, come learn how to be a solid waste management consultant. And this is before the internet, and I called the guys up, and I talked to the guys, like, yeah, dude, you can make a lot of money. Come down to Dallas, $10,000, 3 days. We're gonna teach you how to be like a garbage collector? No, solid waste management consultant, dude. You go to these companies, and you help them cut their waste and green stuff, and you get 50%. I'm like, woohoo! So I spent $10,000 and went to Dallas, but I had a problem. I didn't have $10,000. But I found a way to get the $10,000. And I went down and sat in this room, and I learned, and I was so excited. And I got out there, I got home, and I started going out and talking to these people, and they told me no. That's okay. I went to the next guy, and he told me no too. And then this one guy said, yeah, come out and look. So I spent some time, and then he told me no. And I got discouraged, and I quit. And then I tried some network marketing, and I tried Amway, I tried Rexall, I tried another company I call now Colon Blow. I won't even tell you what their product was. And I tried this, and I had a lot of failures. And I'll never forget the night when in my story I said I woke up in the morning, I had 3-4 sales for $37. I remember looking at my wife going, I found it. I found what works. And it wasn't that worked. It was all the failures that I had were stepping stones to get me to that point. It wasn't that just that one thing worked. It was that all the failures I had, I learned from them, and that's the key, how you handle failure. So if you've done a business before and you failed at it, anyone ever, you've done that, I've asked that question, use it as a stepping stone. Learn from it. If you quit and curl up in a ball and sit there and turn the TV on and go back to your life of quiet desperation, that's a problem. So learn from your failures. It's okay to be I have failures now. I had a couple failures this year, and it's okay. Successful people all have failures. So learn from your failures and use them as stepping stones. That's how. Principle number 6, keeping it simple. Keeping it real too, but keeping it simple. Internet marketing can be a complicated business. You're gonna learn something about me. If you talk to me and you show me things, I'm probably gonna end up talking about you on stage. So just FYI, okay? So today I was out in the hallway and talking to a guy, cool guy. He's gonna do really well. And he started saying, listen, I'm doing this, and I got this program, I got this program, and I'm watching through these videos here, there's like 50 videos there, and I'm doing this, and should I build a blog on this, and should I do this, and I need to pick this niche, and I need to do this. And I said, dude, slow down. Focus on simplicity. A few simple things that you do over and over and over again, and you teach others to do those over and over and over again. That's all you need to do to build a business. You do not have to learn all these complicated things. Now here's what's great. When you focus on those simple activities and you plug yourself in, you get to what's called the school of involvement, guess what? You're gonna learn those things that you think are complicated right now. You'll learn them over time. But if you focus on the simple activities that will generate you income now, those other things will take care of themselves as long as you spend a little time, but not all your time. You'll just get overwhelmed. And that's why it's great. You take it a step at a time. So keep things really, really simple. If you're complicating things, if you're getting frustrated, you're not keeping it simple. There's the simple button, okay? Last principle is duplication. You guys ever heard that word before? Duplication. A lot of people don't really know what that means. Duplication means you do something simple, you teach other people how to do that, and they go do that, and some of those people do it, and they go and they start having success, and they take action, they have success, they actually success, and next thing you know, you're getting 40 emails a day of downline signups and customer signups, and guess what? Things start to happen, and you don't even have to help those people. Like, I started getting these emails from all these names that were like in Chinese. I'm like, what the heck? What's this? And all of a sudden, I find I've got a team growing in Taiwan. I went to the guy's website, I can't read anything. I went to Google Translate just to make sure they weren't doing anything fishy, but here we've got a team growing in China. I haven't even talked to them. That's what happens as your business starts to grow. You'll find people, and they won't need you. And they'll duplicate, and as long as you follow a system, something really simple, simplify your business, and you teach other people to do that, that's how you grow a very, very large business. I want you to watch out for what's called the IM hustle. You guys ever heard of that before? The internet marketing hustle. A lot of internet marketers live from product launch to product launch. They create a product, and they launch it. They rely on JVs, and then they launch another one. And then I gotta launch another product. Okay, let's launch another product. We'll create another product, and we'll go launch it. Okay, whew, that's done. We made some money. Oh, let's go do it again. And pretty soon they're like, dun 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 dun. You guys know what I'm singing, right? The internet marketing hustle. Okay? You haven't really built a business. What you've built yourself is really just a glorified job. Yeah, maybe you have some time freedom and stuff, but you're working crazy hours, and you haven't built duplication. You haven't built a business that pays you and leverages you. What's the name of our company? Pure Leverage. What do you want to get? Leverage. Focus on leverage. Just signing people up is not leverage. That is not leverage. Okay? Focus on leverage. So here's the 7 principles. Again, number 1, you got to focus on your why. Number 2, your beliefs. Number 3, how you treat others. Number 4, taking action. Number 5, how you handle failure. Number 6, keeping it simple. Number 7, duplication. Now, these are principles that will help you get rid of these chains. Does anyone want to be an ultra success in their business? Ultra success, because this is what I have observed for people who are ultra successful at their business. Most super successful people in their business, I've noticed, have had to make a life-changing transformation to get there. Now, maybe it's the way you think about yourself. Maybe it's you're bogged down with a job. Maybe you have no time. Maybe you have problems in your life. You've had a divorce and things are just bad in your luck. You have no money. And maybe you're not a nice person. Let's just face it. Maybe you're not a kind person. Maybe you just, what I've seen most successful people, they have some kind of pivotal moment in their life where they make a transformation. They get so down and out, and they look in the mirror and they go, my life sucks. I need to do something different, okay? And they say, I've got to make a transformation. I've got to make a transformation. I want to tell you a story of a friend of mine, really good friend of mine. And one day he woke up and he realized his life just wasn't going that well. He had some problems in his life. He felt he wasn't very well liked. Had some different problems with his work, didn't enjoy his work. Semi-happy, kind of living in that lives of quiet desperation. And one day, he was at work, and he asked his boss if he could take some time off to go to his son's kindergarten program. And his boss said no. His boss said, no, we need you here. We're about ready to launch this product. You can't go. So he had to call up his wife and say, I can't go. My boss won't let me. Kind of like a little kid having to tell, my mom won't let me. And that's kind of how he felt. He didn't feel good about himself, and he realized that life just kind of stunk. And he looked at his situation and said, I've got to change something. In fact, he told me he went into the bathroom and literally went into one of the stalls and just bawled his eyes out for about an hour and said, I've got to change, because if something doesn't change in my life, I'm going to be stuck doing what I'm doing for the rest of my life. And so he took action. He realized he started working on himself. He started improving. He started making the time to make things happen. And my friend was able to make a major transformational change. It was until one thing that he had to change in his life. He knew this one thing was an obstacle. There was one thing standing in his way. He really knew he needed to change that because it was holding back his success. So I'm going to go and show you a little video clip of my friend here. And there's no audio to this. Just sit back and watch, and I think you'll get an idea of the change he had to make. Can't tell, that was me. I had a weight problem. I was 320 pounds. I was miserable. It affected, and this was my challenge. Everyone has their own challenges. And it was such a stumbling block in my life that I said, I've got to do something different because I'm stuck, I'm miserable. And I've never told anyone this story before. You're the first ones to ever hear it. It was something I had to personally overcome. Everyone has a different challenge that you need to overcome if you want to have substantial amount of success. And, I'm not saying it's weight or whatever, but that was for me. And let me tell you, I started working on those 7 principles that I just shared with you right now. I realized that I needed to do something different in my life, not just the weight, but I needed to work on myself. I needed to work on my beliefs. I needed to work to get rid of these things. And man, it just seemed like it was going to be harder than heck to do it. I woke up, it was so easy just to fall back and to be lazy and just to fall back and just kind of live that life of quiet desperation. But I wanted to get rid of these chains so bad. And it didn't happen overnight. Pretty soon I started working on my beliefs and started working on myself. I found the time. I stopped using that excuse. I worked in the morning. I started exercising. I started watching what I eat. I started reading motivational books, listening to audios, mostly audios. I didn't like to read even back then. I started working on the money problem. I had a huge debt problem. The chains here. I got tired of seeing some of my friends who were already living the life, and they would want me to do things. I wanted to change that. I started working. Instead of going out to lunch with the buddies at work, I would go down to my car and work on my internet marketing business. I would come home at night, and I would spend 2 or 3 hours working on my marketing business. And I sat there, and like kind of Dagan said, if you stare at your computer screen long enough, you'll figure this stuff out. There's actually some truth to that. But I'll add something to that. You've got to take action and do the right kind of action activities. I started focusing on that, and one day, all these little things together, I woke up one day, and I refreshed my screen, and I had 4 sales of $37. And the chains started to get lighter and lighter and lighter. And I remember telling my wife, honey, I found what works. And it wasn't just that one thing that worked for me. It was all the things combined that I had worked on. And these chains started to get lighter and lighter and lighter. And all of a sudden, we started making a better income. I had matched my job. I was all of a sudden making, my rent payment, my house payment. And all of a sudden, started having more success. And so guess what? I started having success. I started taking what? Action. And I had more success, and I got excited. And all of a sudden, 9 months later, I took these chains. And I quit that job. It took me 9 months to triple my income at my work. And I'll never forget the day, my last day to work. And 2 weeks before that, I had gone into the HR's office, and I worked at 3M. And I went in there and I said, I'm quitting. And the lady said, you're what? Nobody quits 3M. No, I'm quitting. I started my own business, and whatever, take this job, and whatever. I wanted to burn my bridges, baby. And that was 9 years ago. 9 years ago, right now, 9 years ago, about 2 weeks from now, it was 9 years ago. And I threw those chains down, and that burden was released. And I found freedom. Go to the next slide. I found freedom. And all of a sudden, I realized that everything that I had wanted in my life was starting to come true. It wasn't perfect, but now I was able to go out and go to Europe and have the money to do it, and go with the family and spend time. And it wasn't just the money, it was the things that money, the time and the things. I mean, money's not everything, but it really will buy you your freedom if you want it. And now we can volunteer, and we can go to my kids' school, and I don't have to worry, I don't have to ask anyone to go do things. My neighbors don't know what I do. They think I'm a drug dealer because I'm home all the time. But I get to do fun things like help people who get stuck in the snow in my neighborhood. They always call me. They know I'm the guy that's home all the time. He has the home office. So I get to do all these service things around my neighborhood. I get to help people. And I really am on a vision, because I want people to get rid of those chains and get them out of their life. Anyone want to get rid of those chains? So all I want to say, you are in the right place at the right time. Focus on the things that will get you success. Focus on action, and look at that thing. What's that big thing that you need to overcome? Look at that one thing. Have belief, guys. Guys, you are in the right place at the right time. Thank you very much, and we're looking forward to your success, and we'll see you at the next event, okay?
Ladies and gentlemen, Joel Peterson!